Hey everyone, welcome back to another video where today I'm going to talk about a pickup configuration that is new to me, is pretty unique, haven't come across this on another guitar, and I'm really enjoying it. So I thought I would just show you some tones and explain why this could be a pickup configuration worth considering. So if you're new around here, my name is Harvey. I'm a UK-based guitarist and I make films for the everyday guitar player, helping you navigate the wonderful world of guitar. And today it's all about pickups, and I'm going to show you this Karl Longbottom guitar's Alpine A110. So Karl is a great friend, he's a brilliant guitar maker, and this video is not sponsored. I've just had this guitar for the last couple of months, and it's just one that feels so unique, and it's been a brand new experience for me, and I want to share that with you guys. So let's talk a little bit about these pickups and what makes them so cool. Now, if you have been watching this channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm kind of predominantly a single coil player. I tend to like Strats and Tellys. Those have been the guitars that have been the mainstay of my collection for a number of years now. And the thing that I love about Strats and single coil guitars is the clarity and articulation you can get from that single coil pickup. The thing that I've struggled with humbuckers in the past is kind of that feeling of too much mid-range, slightly too much bass, they're a little bit muffled, and that, although is great in some settings, it's not always the best for the kind of versatile, good all-rounder. And I've always found that a Strat and a Telly and any single pickup guitar, I find that they are just more universally applicable. I can find more tones that I enjoy in those types of guitars. Now, that might be because I haven't had much experience with good humbuckers in the past. That's definitely true. I owned a Gibson back in the sort of early 2000s, and it wasn't a guitar that I enjoyed the sound of at all. And, you know, these things happen. Gibson have had a bit of a torrid history when it comes to build and, you know, quality control and that kind of thing. There's good eras and bad eras, and maybe I just got a little bit unlucky. But I think what Karl has done so brilliantly with this guitar is he's found a combination of pickups that, for me, as somebody who loves Strats, loves the kind of clarity and articulation of single coils, mixed with that kind of oomph, that mid-range, and that kind of power that you get from a humbucker. This is a configuration that kind of ticks both of those boxes for me. So let me talk you through what pickups are actually in here. So these are Sunbear pickups. Sunbear, a great pickup manufacturer here in the UK. They're making absolutely brilliant stuff. I have a few friends who are kind of big advocates of the sound of these and have used them extensively in a lot of different instruments. So they seem pretty consistent and well adored. And the kind of two options we have is in the neck, we have a Firebird pickup. So the Firebird, a Gibson classic, you know, the Firebird guitar shape is definitely iconic. Unfortunately, I've not actually had the chance to play a Firebird, but Firebird pickups are definitely ones that very much have their own sound. So Mike Campbell, one of my favorite guitar players, played with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. He was a big fan of Firebirds. Firebird pickups are kind of like single coils, but sort of turned up to 11. They kind of retain that clarity and some of that high-end presence that you get from a single coil, but they just have a little bit more output. And that's definitely what I find in this neck pickup. I was really surprised when I first plugged this in. I was expecting something very reminiscent to, you know, a traditional humbucker in a neck, but what I actually ended up discovering was that it sounded more like a Telly or more like a Strat than it did a Gibson Les Paul or something similar. And that definitely got me interested. It kind of retains that articulation, and it has a bit more of an open sound. So let me just play a little isolated clip of this neck pickup so you can hear what it sounds like. So I hope you'll agree that that's a really usable tone. It's definitely one that I've found very useful when layering guitar parts. It sits in a mix really well, and because it is a slightly different sound than what I'm used to, it kind of opens up my playing and forces me to play a little bit differently, and that's always something that I enjoy in a guitar. But let's move on now to the bridge pickup, which is again from Sunbear Pickups, and this is his take on the classic PAF humbucker. So anyone who's clued up on their Gibson history will know that the very first humbuckers made between, I guess, sort of 1957 and 1960-ish, don't quote me on that, but the patent applied for pickups that Gibson were creating are some of the most coveted and sought after that you'll ever find in any guitar. And they're astronomically expensive now if you were to try and find a set from way back in the day. But because of that heritage and because of the provenance of guitars like, you know, the 59 bursts, the 58s, the 57s, and even the 1960s, all of those guitars, the big proponent of why those sound so great is because of those pickups, combined with, you know, a few other very important aspects such as the build quality, etc., etc. But again, if you want to get close to the sound of some of those bursts and early Gibsons, then the PAF humbucker is a big component of that. I think the kind of character of these humbuckers, which separate them from, you know, the humbuckers that you might see in Les Pauls today, in more modern ones, is the fact that they have that clarity and that articulation. The mid-range is certainly there, but it's not quite as pronounced. It's slightly more sort of chimey. They get a bit more note definition. It's just all the things that I really enjoy because I like to try and play dynamically. I go from sort of clean to overdrive, and I'm not really doing anything super high gain. So because of my overdrive and because my distortion is fairly mild, it lets the notes kind of step forward a little bit. And something like a PAF really helps accentuate that. So let me now show you what this bridge pickup sounds like in isolation. I think you're really going to enjoy this one. So on the face of it, we have two pickups here that are pretty common in terms of the Gibson catalogue. You know, you've got a Firebird pickup, you know, Firebird's really, really popular, very iconic guitars, and you have a PAF, again, a humbucker that is fairly traditional in the Gibson lineup. But it's the fact that you can blend these two together using the middle position of this three-way toggle switch. I think that's where some of the magic is, because that's where you start to unlock some of these tones that you wouldn't find on similar Gibson style guitars or guitars that have kind of two traditional humbuckers. Because of the kind of, I guess, the openness, the clarity, the articulation in this neck pickup, mixed with some more of the mid-range from the bridge while still kind of retaining all of that lovely nuance and that lovely note definition. The middle pickup has this really nice chimey open quality that I've just really enjoyed for kind of creating guitar parts that kind of sit well in a mix. So let me just show you the part that I played in that opening track that utilized this middle pickup sound. So the main takeaway from this video is that yes, PAF humbuckers are superior if you are looking for that traditional humbucker sound. I recommend everybody, if you have a Gibson Les Paul 335, just any guitar really that has humbuckers, then you should definitely check out Sunbear Pickups and consider getting one of their 59 PAFs. But other than that, and the real thing that I want you to at least consider for your own tonal options, is to start exploring Firebird pickups. It's definitely something that isn't spoken about a lot. Firebirds are kind of unwieldy guitars. They're an odd shape, they're pretty big, and you know, they're definitely a divisive guitar when it comes to kind of taste. You either kind of love them or hate them. But I think it's undeniable how cool the sound is of the Firebird. So if you're not necessarily into the guitar shape, then you might still be really interested in the pickup. Like I said, they do seem to have more articulation, more clarity compared to a traditional Gibson humbucker. If you are a Strat player, if you enjoy single coils but you want to explore some humbucker pickups, then I think the Firebird could be a great place to start. Or you could just get this guitar. So if you're curious about this guitar or any of Karl's other guitars, I'll of course leave a link in the description below. Go and follow him on Instagram and shoot him any questions. He's super knowledgeable. He knows so much about tone, about guitars. He's a fantastic builder. So thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already, do consider hitting the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified of when new videos go live. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week for another video.